Hello, my name is Schuyler Smith. I do technical sales and support here at Apogee Instruments, and today we're going to talk about all the new sensors on the 2020 price list. This is designed to be a brief overview, and it's not going to go into too much detail. There's a lot more support material on the website, including other videos already out there and new videos to be made. And this is our special distributor edition. We want to say thank you to all of our Apogee Instruments distributors for all that you do and all that you do to get our instruments out there. This is a list of everything that we are going to cover. And so a lot of this video is going to move fast, and so feel free to pause or stop the video so that you can see these screens, as well as, again, go directly to the website for more information. So we're going to cover the microcache, the Bluetooth logger sensor interface. It's the AT100 model. It's been forthcoming for a couple of years. And then some special sensors that connect to it, the SS2 500 and 120, the extended range PFD sensor, the low light PFD sensor, our new albedometer, the SP700, the photometric sensors, the road surface IR sensor, our EEO8 humidity and temperature sensor, our PAR far red sensor, our red far red sensors, NDVI and PRI sensors, and then as well as our SDI12 to USB converter, and then the UVA sensor coming soon. So first up, our microcache is what we're calling this Bluetooth memory module. Okay, so a couple pictures here. We can see here the size and dimensions it's going to be, and then a couple ways to mount it, and then what it looks like here on the back. So here's the specifications. A couple things I just want to point out on this screen. You can see it will log over 400,000 entries. Okay, that's approximately 9 months at 1 minute logging intervals. And then it's designed for IP67 outdoor deployment. So the current sensors that this is designed to work with is our PAR sensors, our extended range PAR sensors, the PAR far red and the red far red, and the SP700. Now, soon we expect it to be compatible with all of these sensors, the IR sensors, our temperature sensors, silicon cell, thermopile pyronometers, UV sensors, photometric, NDV PRI, and then last would be the oxygen sensor with a connector. Now, going along with that, deploying this mini logger / sensor interface so that you can see all that data right on your phone, different ways to mount it for long-term deployment. We have here that you can just take some zip ties right through these grooves that are built into it. Then we also have the cache strap right here that would go around a pole or something. We have the suction cup that would go on the outside of an aquarium. And then it also works very well to mount directly to the AL120 and AL130 brackets. And those are those accessories model numbers across the top. So going along with the microcache, we designed it to be able to use in aquariums. And so for that, we have these 2-meter lead lengths. And so the SQ500 SS2 refers to the 2-meter lead length that comes from the head to the connector right there. And so when these are sold, they are sold just as the sensor head with the 2-meter cable length and not with an additional 5 meters coming off there. And these are the only two models that will have this long 2-meter cable length, the SQ500 and SQ120. Next up, we have the extended range quantum sensors, the SQ620 and SQ640. What we're finding is that in the indoor agricultural applications is that they want to know about the photon flux density out here in the UV as well as here in the far red regions. And so traditional PAR, which is 400 to 700 nanometers, which is our SQ500 and SQ100 sensors, covers only here. But we have a lot more demand to see what's going on with the photon flux density in UV and far red. So we designed this sensor to read beyond that. Okay? The full range is from 340 to 1040, but because it goes out here beyond 800 nanometers, because beyond 800, plants can't really see what's going on here. However, light sources like the sun and high pressure sodium do have light out here. So because of that, it's really only designed to be used with LED lights that have some UV or far red. So again, here's our spectral response, and here's some of the specifications. What I want to point out is that the SQ620 models go up to 4,000 micromoles per meter squared per second. However, the 640 is our low light version. And again, in these indoor agricultural applications, there are certain plants that if they have any light pollution during their dark hours, then it can cause the plants to go hermaphrodite. And so because of that, we came up with the SQ640 that will detect any light in this range, so any sort of light leakage to meet that demand. So here is a list of the outputs available. We have the meter version, the analog version. This is the version that would go with the microcache. And then we have some amplified versions, and then the SDI-12 version. And this is the 620, and then the 640 is the same. It will be in a meter version, as well as you can use it with the microcache with the analog version, and then the amplified ones and an SDI-12. And these are all available currently right now for sale. Next we have the SP700 albedometer. And it's designed for the microcache, but it can be plugged straight into a data logger. It is sold with the 5-meter cable length. And you can see we just have a nice little mount here. It will be a 3D printed mount with the leveling bubble right there, the bubble level. And then it will also come with the rod. And so this is available for sale currently. This is designed for bifacial solar panels, or any sort of albedometer application where you want a handheld meter. You could connect that to the microcache. Next we have our photometric sensors that we released currently this year. And the photometric is designed to measure the light as the human eye sees it. So sports arenas, offices, museums, hospitals, streets, parking garages for low light applications, this is a highly precise photometric sensor. So this is the spectral response. Green is the spectral response of our sensor, and then black is the human eye response. So we're going to have two versions of this. One that's going to be calibrated for sunlight, which is going to be the 212 and the 215 or the 100 version. And then we have ones that are calibrated in the amplified range just for electric light applications, which would be the SE202 and SE205. And of course, the resolution of the microcache, which has a 24-bit A to D, will work great with the SE100 for any of those low light applications or any sort of sunlight applications as well. And here's just a nice spec sheet where you can see those same calibration factors and output sensitivities as well. Next, we have the road weather SI4HR-SS sensor. This was designed for a specific application, but we went ahead and made it available on the price list for anyone. It was designed to be installed about 7 meters back from the road at a height of 3.5 meters high at a 70-degree angle. And then it would read the surface temperature of the road with a 6-meter width. So you can see it has a slightly smaller constrained field of view than our traditional horizontal. I put those specifications down there, as well as it has a longer tube to keep the snow from piling up on either end of that sensor. It's currently available only as an SDI-12 model, okay? And manuals and spec sheets coming online soon. Next, we have the EE08 humidity probe. This one was also released this year. It's got a 0 to 2.5 volt output. It's a very accurate humidity sensor, and so it's available by itself, or you can also purchase it in the package with the aspirated shield, as well as with the aspirated shield, the EE08 and the ST110 temperature sensor for accurate humidity and temperature sensing. Now we have our red far red sensor. Red far red has long been an indicator of stem elongation and research going into that. And so here is our specification sheet. We can see here that the red diode is around 650 nanometers and then around 730 for the far red. And then I've just included over there just kind of some more details on application. You're welcome to pause it there to see more information on who would look for a red, far red sensor. So we have the analog version as well as the SDI-12 version. And no meter version expected, so you would just use the analog version with the microcache AT100. Now next up is the PAR-FAR sensor. And so PAR being the photosynthetically active radiation, and we currently have those sensors, the SQ500 and SQ100. What this sensor is it takes that diode which is in there and it adds a second diode, so there's two outputs to this sensor. One is the PAR range and one is the far red range. And so we'll have these available in a couple different models. But just kind of to better illustrate what it's looking at and what it's measuring, I have the spec sheet here. So here we have the spectral response of PAR from equally weighted from 400 to 700 nanometers. And this would be our SQ500 spectral output. And then over here we have the far red output from 700 to 760. Now there's no defined range for far red, so we're just going to assume that it's going to be the sum from 700 to 760, and that's what we've defined that as. Here's the specifications. Now the interesting thing to note is that this PAR far red is really, if you haven't heard of it, it's cutting edge research done by our company president and CEO, Dr. Bruce Bugbee, up at the USU Crop Physiology Lab. And he has more detailed videos about what these ratios can mean, including plant morphology and other stem elongation that may be more important to than red far red. So again, look for his videos, and then this just kind of sums up that you can either use it as a ratio or use it as a sum for various research. And we'll have this output in two outputs, either the analog millivolt or we'll have the SDI-12 version, and so you would use that analog version with the microcache. Next up we have our NDVI and PRI sensors, and they also have two diodes inside of them. So in the millivolt version they'll have two outputs, and so here our example is for red and near infrared. For the NDVI would be 0 to 20 millivolts, and then the PRI would be 0 to 10 volts on each of those outputs. And here's the specifications on this. The red detector is around 650 nanometers, and the near infrared detector is around 810. And so we have our spectral response here that's showing that same thing, 650, 810 nanometer, 2 diode, and then the PRI is here. And again, these ratios are used in various green applications to see how things are growing and how they look. And again, there will be more videos and more information about applications coming for those. The sensor outputs, we have upward and downward analog. We have SDI-12 available in upward and downward. And then the PRI is coming soon. We have the NDVI available now, but the PRI is coming soon. Upward, downward, analog versions, SDI-12 versions, upward and downward. We have the AC421 we released this year, and this is available now. And it's great for troubleshooting. It just plugs straight in the computer. The software is included. Lets you address your SDI-12 sensors as well as test them to verify that they are reading correctly. And so we encourage all distributors, if you don't have one of these in your office, just pick one up off the price list, and then you'll be able to just test and verify that all your SDI-12 sensors are addressed correctly and working correctly. And then last we have the UVA sensor. So this is currently what the SU100 looks like, and you can see it has some spectral response all the way down here into the UVC. The SU200 is designed just to measure UVA over there, and it will be available SU200-SS, so that would be the model that you would use for the AT100. Again, thank you so much for all that you do, and thank you for watching this brief overview of the new sensors on the 2020 price list. Again, I refer you to the website for more information, including the distributor center. And so if you haven't been here, the link is right here. And you can see it comes up, it has your product manuals, specification sheets, more importantly, product images over here, so you can add those to your own website. The way to get here, besides that link, is if you're on our website, apogeeinstruments.com, just click on support, and then scroll down here to Distributor Center, and just click there, and then this will bring up all this information for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, you can email us at techsupport@apogeeinstruments.com. Thank you.